Salvete Spectatores, welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. We are in the Black Hound Inn and discovering the different locations. Here we have been. Neslok Nachyetep, Shane Shakes Murian, Silla Amin, so these are names. Definitely be able to do something there. Oh my god. This looks ugly as hell. These bones are covered in tiny bite marks. Ah, here's the dog. Black Hound. This hound stares intently at the covered window, head cocked as if waiting to hear a particular sound. It looks up when you approach and whines a low note, tail wagging slightly. Pet the dog. I could use a good dog here, girl. Sorry, girl. I don't think he's coming back. The dog's ears perk up. It trots over to you and barks happily. Ooh, we gained a dog. Nice. So here we could leave. Let's talk to these three guys. Ugh. Silla Amin. What's her story? You see a long empty road cutting through two large crop fields. The air is silent and the land seems too still for early afternoon. This woman walks slowly on the road, leading a horse, curiously looking around. She seems to sense something wrong, but is unable to discern what it is. She stops, sniffing at the air, her nose high. Her brow crinkles, and she casts about, looking for something. The air is clear, no sounds. She sniffs again, still looking around, confusion clouding her face, mouthing a single word. Fire? She looks out across the fields, her confusion turning to fear. She holds her hands up to block the sun from her eyes and scans the fields again. Not finding what she was looking for, she jumps onto her horse's back, the fear quickly becoming panic. She kicks, sending the horses shooting down in the path, which bends around some trees to where the farmhouse should be. She pulls up short, horror now in residence on her face, as she stares at the burned and charred mess that used to be her family's home. Okay. So her family got attacked or something? Apparently we can't talk to these guys, we can just look at their past, so to speak. You see an emaciated boy in chains, black holes for eyes, staring sightlessly at the wall. A man in a dark coat walks in, a scroll and an oddly shaped quill in his hand. The boy glances at him, expressionless, a corpse waiting for animation. The man clucks at him, disapproval clear in his tone. The boy stands, limbs hanging. The man takes the quill and begins to write on the boy's chest, copying sharp, angular symbols from the scroll. The child doesn't flinch as the quill digs into his skin, drawing blood as it goes. The wizard finishes with a flourish and barks some arcane command, setting the symbols to glow dully. The boy cries out, knees hitting the stone hard, his chest burning black and red. Finally the glow disappears, leaving only hard black scars etched into his skin. He slumps sideways, twitching, eyes facing the black back of his skull. The wizard grunts, kicking him on the leg on his way out. The boy lies on the floor until dawn, eyes still black like holes, the twitching growing into convulsive shakes. Holy crap. Is this guy? Okay, yeah, because his name's Shakes. Okay. And Neslok Nachyetep. His story is, you see a man soar through the air, hitting a nearby wall with a nauseating crunch. He doesn't get up. His attacker, a burly, clean-cut warrior with a carnivorous grin, turns and shoves his fist into the stomach of another assailant, removing another from the improper to brawl. The bar is a whirlwind of elbows, knees, fists and feet, with no end in sight. And he's in his element. In the corner, three smaller men speak quietly, throwing malicious glances at the larger man in the center. He breaks a chair over a tattooed head, cackling. The trio positions themselves in three parts of the room, and with a terse nod they charge. Unfortunately for them, the man sees them coming. Something in his eyes burns brightly, and all three slump to the ground in an agony that's all in their minds. Interesting. The burly man bows to a room of the unconscious and incapacitated before sauntering out, whistling behind. Interesting. So a warrior and a mage? I don't know. Let's go there. Maybe a rooftop or something? Yeah, indeed. Okay. Okay, this is just an alternative exit. So let's just discover, actually, what's going on. Our main quest is to go back to the big tree. But let's look around here for a minute. If we can't loot anything. Well, no, let's just continue with the... I'm very interested in the Animancer. Who might that be? A dwarf woman. They said. Aha! Caldara de Berranzi. The squat, distended body of an elderly dwarf woman dangles from a thin, crooked brow that sags as the tug of her noose. The bloated purple flesh of her neck, worn away in patches like moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her, and her lifeless head lolls forward rigidly from one side to the other when the breeze shifts. Ugh. You perceive a faint glow around her, well, not so faint, that casts no light on its surroundings, but there is a tepid warmth of it, and you feel somehow that you could reach out and touch it, not with your hands, but with some aspect of yourself that has no worldly dimension. Ooh, interesting. You take a deep breath, clearing your mind, focusing on your objective. As you exhale, you feel yourself spreading out toward the hanging woman, perceiving all that lies between you and her with new unfamiliar awareness. Once you have expanded enough to reach her, there's a sudden jolt to your mind, a ringing, electric surge of images and words and sounds. Involuntarily, you shut your eyes and feel yourself being pulled down to some deeper consciousness in a space occupied only by you and the hanging woman. And when you open them again, she is staring at you with eyes clouded in a milky fog, her body still swaying in the wind. You no longer feel from a tree that stands planted in a misty void. The woman gives you a slow nod of her head, the rope creaking as she does so, and she smiles at you.
Have you come here for me, dear, or have you gotten lost? Ah, it is both, I think. Yes?
Wow. I need to understand something that's happened to me. She nods, a look of pity on her face, as though consoling a child.
The world looks a little different than it used to, is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there.
She nods.
You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
Interesting. So a reader of minds. What's a watcher?
What indeed? Long hours have many animancers spent studying such things. Not I, though. Not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair. And here we are, visiting, you and I, and it reminds me of better times. Souls pass on. Some say through Audra stones, which are the blood veins of the world. They leave the world for a time and are reborn into it, sometimes more than they were before, but usually less and seldom the same. For all souls there is a time where they do not live, yet have not passed on, and those souls roam the world, same as you or I, either leaving or lost. but no one sees them because they have forgotten how. A watcher sees, though, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them, know where they've been in ages past when their bodies were other bodies. See memories even their owner can't recall. A wonder to behold when all goes well. A wonder!
Ooh, interesting. So we maybe haven't seen their past, but their past lives. So they don't know themselves what's going on. And we are apparently talking to her soul that's still around her body, but not yet passed on. Wait a second. See memories even their owner can't. A wonder to behold when all goes well. What do you mean when all goes well?
Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties.
She smiles at you reassuringly, fanning out a tuft of long whiskers that sprouts from one of her cheeks.
You should see old Merwald. He could tell you much more than I. A watcher just like you. Helped many in his day. Took up in an old keep no one would claim. Not far, not far. Kadnua, beyond the Black Meadow. He will welcome the company.
Interesting. I think I survived a biowac. Do you know why that would be?
Did you now, dear? My, that would be something, wouldn't it? Could be luck, could certainly be. A storm can be a careless thing. Or maybe it got its hands around your soul but couldn't pick it up. A soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece through its time. Strong souls, we call them in the trade. Cold, I mean. Called them. Those days are all behind me, no?
So she is aware that she's dead. Interesting. I wonder what infused me with this gift. I guess the strange ritual, was it? You said souls break apart over time?
Oh, yes. Entropy. Rimagan's work. We know little of why or how. We lose pieces of ourselves when we die and pick up pieces of others when we are born again, but less than what we lost. We tried to stop it with the animantic sciences, but with little success. A very small few resist Rimergan's influence and stay together through some force of defiance, at least for a time. But they all succumb eventually, I think.
She clicks her tongue. How are you able to speak to me?
Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it. I think it is a very good choice.
Am I imagining this?
No, I think not. A pity that. It would be simpler. A mercy even. To not have to wander anymore, no? Alas, we are here, you and I. Wherever here may be.
I want to know something about you.
Me? I'll bore you to tears, though.
Who are you?
And here I thought you'd come to visit me in particular. Caldara de Berranzi, of the Valian Royal Academy of Animantic Sciences. Not the greatest of their number, but I came here all the same because this was where help was needed.
What's an animancer?
A student of the soul. Something so basic, yet so poorly understood. But so many breakthroughs have been made in my lifetime. Had been made. Had been. To hear the locals tell it, we're a gang of soul manglers that preys upon the weak-minded. And the worst of us are. But the best of us, the best? Inspirations, miracle workers. My parents were soul twins, miserable before they met, empty inside. It was an animancer who helped one find the other, turned their lives around. You wouldn't believe the stories. Amnesiacs helped to remember their lives. The suicidal brought back from the brink of oblivion. The elderly afforded extra moments to say their goodbyes. How soon we forget when we're afraid. It's a fascinating science. A fascinating time to be alive in a place like Deerwood that does not control the research, no? I love the Valian Republics for many things, but their recent caution will leave them behind, I fear.
What happened to you? She laughs, a rasping, choked cackle escaping between rows of buttery yellow teeth, causing her body to bob up and down with each spasm. Seeing your blank expression, she catches herself.
Oh, come now. Such a question. As though the answer were plain as a rope tied for strangling. Allow an old dwarf her last bit of cheer. Well, I came where I was needed, didn't I? Offered my services to Lord Radric for a pittance. A humble pittance. I was to examine the Lord's wife, see why the gods have seen fit to poison her womb. Studied her for months, looked high and low for impurities, tested her valence, the permeability of her essence. Do you know what I found?
Tell me.
Nothing at all. A healthy woman, head to toe, blessed with a beautiful soul. Such a sweet woman, too. Meek, but warm-hearted. A few months' time, and the lord of the house demanded answers. For a time, I told him what he wanted to hear. Oh, yes, my lord. She is riddled with imbalances. I must have time to cure her. As the birth drew near, he grew impatient, as lords do. And this is where I've ended up.
What the hell? So she got killed because she didn't do anything to his healthy wife. And this guy here said that all these guys were killed because they were soulless. What the hell is going on? First I thought it was a little bit like Dark Souls, where there are virtually no souls in the people. But this sounds very much like just an excuse for killing guys.
Of course, dear.
We've talked enough, I think.
Goodbye, my dear. It was lovely visiting.
Caldara closes her eyes and her head slumps forward over the noose, and your surroundings seem to blend into your vision from some unknown place of waiting. I was granted Crucible of the Soul. Aloth looks at you through narrowed eyes. Are you alright? You seemed lost just now. Oh, this happens a lot. You'll have to get used to it. He folds his arms. That's good to know, but I don't suppose you could tell me what it was all about? Okay, I think I have to tell him. I'm a watcher. His arched eyebrows recede into his hood. Well, that is interesting. So he knows what I'm talking about. He gives you a sly grin. And I expect that explains how you survived the bywalk, In any case, I appreciate your honesty. Since we're traveling together, it's probably wise for us to share these things. Do you know anything about watchers? Only that they're rare, and that they seem to have unique insights into certain soul conditions, he coughs. As you just demonstrated. Okay, let's continue on. Travel to Kaid Noir. I'm not sure if we are
17 and a half.
What the hell? I'm not sure if we are done with this village yet. There's still a lot to check out before we travel on.
17 and a half. Well, could be 18, depending on how you count the dwarf woman.
So now he talks to us. I'm sorry, I skipped the first dialogue here. I'm sorry.
The dwarf woman. You were trying to figure out whether to count her as a full person. I think you oughta. The people hanging from the tree. 18 of them. Well, last I counted anyway.
Alof frowns. Is that what you people do for fun around here?
Name's Adair. Though to the people around here, might as well be 19. Don't think I'd put you much higher than 22, 23 tops. You look like the sort that likes to get involved.
Wow, this is one pessimistic kind of guy. What makes you think I was interested in a dwarf woman? He looks at you a moment, his brow arched. His smirk broadens.
I was smoking over here, saw you staring at her. Twice I refilled my pipe. You never so much as blinked. Your mouth was so slack I took you for a Radric at first.
Impossible. I don't drool half as much. Ha! So you're already familiar. Still, you'll... Oh, no. I'm not familiar. Oops. Just being funny. Still, you'll have to forgive my curiosity. Around here we prefer to turn a blind eye to our dead. Do you know what a watcher is?
Careful, friend. Best not use that word round here. Could be any number of Radric bootlickers within earshot. Ciphers, animancers, watchers. Same thing in the eyes of folks around here, Radric especially. They come through these parts all the time with their cures, preying on the desperate. None of them are who they claim to be. Of course, seeing you with that funny look, I'd be halfway inclined to believe you were having some kind of communion with that dwarf. Either case, maybe I'm not 19 after all. No offense.
Now, why would he be killed soon? You think you're going to be hanged?
The town's had it in for me for a long time now. Only fellow who ever stuck up for me, well, he's number 18 up there. My headman on the farm. Used to be my captain during the war.
The war? Saints' War. Only one in my lifetime. Fella decides he's the living incarnation of Eothas. Overthrows Red Keras. Marches on Deerwood. So gave him a Deerwood and hello. Who is Eothas? God of rebirth and redemption. Formally anyhow. Maybe they call him something different where you're from. What's a Deerwoodian hello?
We blew him up.
Okay. Why was your headman hanged? Got involved. Radric sent men down here the other day. Said they had it on good authority someone in the town was working with Kolsk, plotting Radric's overthrow. Said if he didn't come forward right then and there, they'd hang every last one of us. No one was coming forth, so Swithin, that's my headman, he stays up and says it's him. They took him at his word. What the hell? This lord sounds like a complete arsehole. Oh my god. He sighs and shakes his head, his eyes fixed on the three. Bound to happen sooner or later. If not for plotting against Radric, then for protecting me. Okay, what's your story? What does your town have against you?
Picked the wrong god. That's what it comes down to. Used to be a lot of Aethys worshippers in Gilded Vale. That mess of rocks over there, that was a temple to him, to give you some idea.
Okay.
Then one day, somebody named Widewind shows up on Deerwood's doorstep. Says he's the living flesh of Aethys. Got an army with him. Suddenly, Aethys isn't so popular in these parts. My brother Woden and me, neither of us believed it. No way was that Aethys. He enlisted, then I did too. But, he didn't make it back. After the war, people took to punishing atheist worshippers, accusing them of treason. Got real ugly, especially after the legacy started. Folks needed someone to blame. I was safe because I fought, but then this rumor starts that my brother, that he was on the wrong side. And I wasn't so safe anymore. Until my headman stepped in and said they'd have to hang him to get to me. Seems that's no longer a concern. Of course, the townies don't do the hanging these days, but when Raedric's men come, they got no problem doing the pointing.
Aloth glances at you and lowers his voice. You can see why I was eager to leave. Who's Kolsk? Someone who got tired of all the hangings. He's on the run now. Probably will be till they catch him. If you're next to be hanged, what are you still doing here? He gives a half smile. Drinking, mostly. Point of fact, I'm on my way out. Just haven't figured where I'm going yet. I know where this is leading. Yeah, come on, let's get together. We could travel together. Where are you headed? Some place called Caed Noir. There's an old watcher there who might be able to help me.
Seem to remember hearing something about that years ago. He tamed that place. People would seek him out for all kinds of things. Troubles of the soul, questions for the departed. Of course, that was back when you didn't have to say watcher with a hush on your breath. A man such as that, there'd be things I'd want to ask him. Don't know why I never thought of it before.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure how I feel about setting out with a stranger, and a strange one at that. But truth be told, you might be the only one in town who wouldn't feel some relief seeing me swing from that tree.
There's a fine reason if I ever heard one.
All right then. Guess I'll do some sightseeing. Long as you're not the one picking the sights.
Okay, let's get going. Bring Adair to speak with Merwold. Okay,
Hey.
we will be about that in the next episode. I thank you all for watching for now. It's run rather long. We'll check out Eder and continue our quest soon. See you.